Was Caligula truly mad, or a victim of historical exaggeration? Delve into the enigma of his reign, separating fact from fiction, unraveling the mystery that echoes through the ages. Chapter 1. Early Life of Caligula. Long before Caligula became synonymous with tales of madness, he was just a tiny Roman tot with a penchant for mischief. Born into the illustrious Julio-Claudian family, young Gaius, later to be known as Caligula, had the kind of lineage that could make any ancient kids' show jealous. Picture this: baby Caligula, a cute bundle of joy, surrounded by all the grandeur that comes with being born into a royal family. Diapers? More like regal swaddling clothes. His first word? Probably something like imperial or senatorial. You get the idea. Growing up in this elite environment, Caligula's childhood was a blend of privilege and peculiarities. His family tree boasted emperors, generals, and more drama than a Roman soap opera. And just to add a dash of uniqueness to his upbringing, Caligula's dad, Germanicus, was a military superstar, ensuring that bedtime stories weren't your run-of-the-mill fairy tales, but epic battles and conquests. But wait, let's not forget the quirky nickname Caligula. It wasn't because he had a pet chameleon or a secret talent for juggling. No, it was all about the tiny soldier boots he wore as a child while tagging along with his dad's army. Yes, picture him as the cutest little commander in training, giving orders to toy soldiers while rocking miniature military chic. As he grew older, Caligula's journey from the playpen to the political arena began. His early education wasn't just about ABCs and 123s. It involved learning the ropes of Roman politics and the art of wielding power. Soon enough, this pint-sized royal was on a fast track to the throne, proving that even emperors had to start somewhere. Chapter 2. Caligula's Rule. Picture this: Caligula struts onto the Roman scene, ready to rule like a boss. At first, things seemed pretty normal. Well, as normal as Roman politics could be. People nodded along, thinking, hey, maybe this guy won't be so bad. But oh boy, did Caligula have a flair for the dramatic. It started innocently enough, with some decent policies and a few good vibes from the public. Maybe he's not so bad after all, they said, blissfully unaware. Then came the signs of eccentricity. Caligula wasn't just your average emperor. He was like the Caesar of chaos. Maybe it was the stress of running an empire, or perhaps he just woke up on the wrong side of the imperial bed. As the days passed, things got weirder. Political decisions left people scratching their togas, wondering if the emperor had lost his marbles. Economic policies seemed to be drafted in the Colosseum's peanut gallery with a dash of, let's see what happens. Relations with the Senate were a soap opera. Caligula treated them like a comedy club audience, delivering punchlines that only he found amusing. Meanwhile, the military wondered if they'd signed up for a circus instead of a conquering army. In the midst of this imperial roller coaster, 3 key events stole the spotlight. First, political decisions were like chariot races, fast, confusing, and sometimes resulting in a spectacular crash. Second, economic policies were as stable as a plate-spinning act in a tornado. Third, the Senate and military played a game of who can keep up with Caligula's whims. Yet beneath the chaos was their method to his madness. Chapter 3. Alleged Acts of Madness. Now, let's talk about the juicy stuff, Caligula's alleged acts of madness. First off, the stories. Rumor has it that Caligula had a subscription to the How to Be Eccentric Weekly magazine. His palace wasn't just a place to rule, it was a theater for bizarre entertainment. Imagine attending a chariot race where the horses are replaced with giraffes and the charioteers are decked out in flamingo feather headdresses. Classic Caligula. Then there were the infamous Cruelty Tales. Caligula apparently had a cruelty checklist that he diligently followed. From feeding prisoners to hungry lions during lunch breaks to organizing gladiator battles with foam noodles, nothing was off the table. And the spending habits. Caligula must have had a personal shopper with a taste for the extravagant. There were reports of him commissioning a solid gold statue of himself, wearing a crown of diamonds and riding a unicorn. Talk about excessive bling. But wait, there's more. Caligula, in his pursuit of godhood, declared himself the divine emperor. Forget about humble beginnings. He wanted to be worshipped like a rock star. Maybe he even had a fan club. Imagine getting a Caligula for Godhood membership card. Now let's put on our detective hats. How much of this is true? Were ancient historians just spinning wild yarns to entertain future generations? Did Caligula really demand a moonwalking elephant for his birthday? Well, you let me know in the comments below. Chapter 4. Psychological Perspectives. Now, let's dive into Caligula's noggin. Quite a peculiar place, as you can imagine. Imagine your friend borrowed your favorite book, but instead of reading it, they built a tower of pizza boxes with it. That's kind of what Caligula did with his power. Psychologists today look back at Caligula's eccentric behavior like they're deciphering an ancient emoji language. Modern shrink-speak suggests Caligula might have been dealing with more issues than a library late fee. Some experts think he had a case of the Caesar complex, where rulers start thinking they're invincible. Imagine walking into your office, convinced you're a superhero, but instead of a cape, you've got a toga flowing dramatically behind you. Picture this: Caligula sitting in his royal bathtub, surrounded by rubber duckies, pondering life's mysteries. Maybe he was just a misunderstood rubber ducky enthusiast, but more likely, he might have had some psychological quirks. Some speculate he danced with the idea of bipolar disorder, or even that he was playing the lead role in his own drama, The Emperor's New Mind. In those days, the ancient world didn't have therapists with leather couches, so they had to figure things out on the go. Caligula's odd behavior could have been a result of the Roman equivalent of a bad Wi-Fi connection, political intrigues, family drama, and power struggles. Picture trying to binge-watch your favorite show, but every episode, someone's trying to overthrow your TV remote. In the end, we're left wondering if Caligula was genuinely bananas or just the world's first method actor trying out Emperor mode. Chapter 5. Political Intrigues and Opposition. The Senate, that mighty collective of Rome's elite, found itself entwined in a delicate ballet with Caligula. As his policies grew more unpredictable, whispers of discontent echoed through the marble halls. Senators, wary of an emperor veering off the conventional path, began plotting behind closed doors. Yet, it wasn't just the Senate playing the Game of Thrones. Influential figures, once allies, turned into cunning adversaries, driven by a mix of ambition and fear. The opposition wasn't a unified force, but a tapestry of conflicting interests, all converging against a ruler who defied their expectations. Conspiracies took shape like shadows in the moonlight. Whispers of assassination and coup d'état reverberated, reaching even the Praetorian Guard, the emperor's own protectors. The atmosphere in Rome became a political powder keg, waiting for the spark that would change the course of history. Chapter 6. Death of Caligula. The grand finale in the circus of Caligula's life, the dramatic exit that shook the Roman Empire like a chariot hitting a pothole. So, picture this. It's January 24th, 41 AD, and the Roman political scene is more tangled than a plate of spaghetti. Our star, Caligula, has been waltzing through his reign with all the grace of a drunk flamingo. Now enter the conspirators, the backstage troublemakers who decide they've had enough of Caligula's theatrics. Senators, officers, and a few disgruntled palace janitors, okay, maybe not janitors, hatch a plot to give the emperor a one-way ticket to the afterlife. Our dear Caligula, blissfully unaware of the impending doom, strolls into a tunnel-like corridor for a leisurely jaunt to the gladiatorial games. The conspirators seize the moment. Knives hidden beneath their togas, they lunge at Caligula, turning the corridor into a chaotic blend of togas and cutlery. Here's where it gets interesting. The emperor, realizing he's the unwilling star of a political thriller, tries to make a dash for it. But alas, the daggers find their mark, turning him into a rather unfortunate pincushion. Caligula's dramatic exit. stabbed 30 times. That's right, 30. Someone must have really wanted to make sure he wouldn't be coming back for an encore. Now, the conspirators, feeling quite pleased with themselves, look around and realize, uh-oh, what do we do next? Chaos ensues as everyone scrambles to figure out the aftermath of the grand stabbing spectacle. And just like that, the flamboyant chapter of Caligula's reign comes to a close in a tragic comedy of errors. The morale of the story? Never underestimate the power of a disgruntled conspiracy club in togas, and always watch your back in Roman hallways, especially if you're the emperor with a penchant for extravagance and eccentricity.